What's good, YouTube? Flying Speaks back. Another video, man. We got Sunday morning. We got some games today. I just wanted to put out my predictions real quick. All right, so the first game we got is at 1 o'clock. That's the Phoenix Mercury versus the Connecticut Sun. This is a pretty easy one. The Connecticut Sun is going to win this particular game. The Phoenix Mercury just had way too many injuries. I think they're just getting ready for the break and hope that they can get Diana and Griner and all of the players back, and maybe finish out strong the second part of the season. The Connecticut Sun are pretty much healthy. They're going to come in with one of the best defenses in the league, and I just got them taking it. All right, then the next game is going to be the Aces versus the Mystics. I mean, come on, it's the Aces. The Aces are going to probably, you could say a blowout, but it's possible the Mystics make it tough. That's just what they do, but then they always find a way to lose. So there's just no way I'm going against the Aces, especially against the Mystics. The 6 o'clock game is the Seattle Storm versus the Atlanta Dream, and I picked the Storm to win that game. The Storm just coming off a game against the Lynx, which was very impressive. And in the Lynx, this brings us to the game against the Indiana Fever. I don't know. I gotta disagree with my man. Shout out to my man HD2. Welcome to HDI 2I TV. Who, if you're not subscribed to him, go subscribe to him. He's one of the few YouTubers that keeps it real, that is able to see basketball for more than just the flashy shit, and understands like the game in depth. He understands like the subtleties and the things that leads to wins and losses. He's been following the W longer than most of us who are out here talking about it now, who just jumped on as a result of, the Reese and Clark stuff. He's been following a lot of these players since high school. In college, I can't say enough. But I disagree with him on this here. He had picked the Fever to win this game, primarily because Nafisa Collier is out. And I disagree. When you look at Nafisa Collier had got hurt on July the 4th against a game against the Sun, but since then the Minnesota Lynx have still played well. They went 2-1 over the last 3 games. Mind you, it was against the Sparks and another team that's not all that impressive. But when you look at the Fever really aren't that impressive of a team. I know they look good in their last couple of games, but if you look at the Fever played against a hampered Phoenix Mercury team, and they were able to beat them, and even that they made it tough. Now, but listen, the reason the Fever would not beat Minnesota, number one, Minnesota's at home. I get it. Nafisa Collier is not playing. However, within the last 3 games without Nafisa Collier, they were 2-1. I know I get it was against the Sparks and another team that isn't that great, but still really doesn't matter. The way they play, this is a team that's a well-oiled machine. They have their system down. So the way they play, it's not really going to matter against the opponent. But the other thing, the Indiana Fever are just a team that simply turns the ball over too much. And they do not play well against teams that force turnovers. The team that completely blows the Indiana Fever out of the water every time they play against them is the Seattle Storm. And many people look at Jewel Lloyd and so on, but the reality is the Seattle Storm force 16.5 turnovers per game, which leads the WNBA. And a team like the Fever that turns it over so much, they're always going to get blown out by them. Well, guess what? The Minnesota Lynx are 3rd in the league. They force 16.5 turnovers. All right, the Seattle Storm only beats them by a couple of percentage points. All right, so basically you're looking at a team that forces turnovers at a similar clip to that of the Seattle Storm. And they also are getting about over 17 points a game off of turnovers, off of their opponents. This is what they're doing. So when they play against a team like the Fever, that just plays so erratic. You have a point guard that tries all these crazy passes against a team like the Minnesota Lynx that is going to play those passing lanes. This is the rubber meets the road, and I do not predict it to turn out well for the Indiana Fever. Games are about matchups. You're talking about a team that's going to be at home. They're going to be fired up because it's going to be a large crowd. A lot of people cheering for Caitlin Clark. And this is something that will probably fuel a lot of the players that they have who are vets, who are used to winning, who have been through the Presidential or the Commissioner's Cup. They've been through these different things. So I really don't think this is going to be really much of a problem for the Minnesota Lynx. Now, the Fever seems like they've been playing better, but they still have a lot of just nonsense, surrounding the coach, whether or not the coach is going to be fired. I don't know about their camaraderie. I question it. And then you couple this with the fact that the Minnesota Lynx are probably one of the best well-coached teams in the league, so I expect them to be completely prepared for whatever the Indiana Fever are going to try to do. I know Caitlin Clark was so spectacular looking, very flashy against the Phoenix Mercury, but the Phoenix Mercury, on defense, they're not a team that you're really worried about. They're not god awful, but then when you take out 3 or 4 of their players, what do you have? Especially if Brittany Griner goes down. I really don't see this game being much of a problem for the Minnesota Lynx at all. But, I could be wrong. But yeah, let me know what y'all think. Peace out.